All right, so now we're going to continue the city council meeting. So we have approval of minutes. We have the October 11th minutes. Does anybody have any questions about that? Or anything that was noticed?
I reviewed them and they all look correct.
Travis is a professional minutes reviewer. I trust him implicitly.
I read them
Send
too.
them to him.
Yeah, definitely. Do we have a first then?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 11th.
Second.
Travis, Ryan, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thanks, Brian. Now we have October 26th. Do we-
That was P and Z. Oh, no, it was.
That was the joint meeting, yes.
So can we approve our portion of it, I guess?
Sure.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve our portion of the joint meeting on October 26th.
Okay.
second.
So we got Ryan and we got Nikki, all those in favor?
The
say-
only
Oh, yep,
only
yep.
thing I noticed was the approval of the agenda was not in the minutes.
I didn't notice that.
We don't do that, though, do we anymore? We don't approve the agenda.
It was on there and it was voted on. It's the only- I see that on my notes. And not that, it's not a critical thing either, so.
If we
it has
did
to be
it,
on
we
there.
don't have to, right?
Yeah, I don't. Requirement.
The agenda is the agenda, because it
Yeah,
has to
the
be.
agenda.
I think we just vote on it if we have to amend it, and since we
Right.
can't amend it.
You really can amend it, so. I mean, I can check on it.
Travis, man, you were just on it.
Yeah,
Or on it.
Because, yeah, we quit approving the agenda this year.
Yeah,
Because we couldn't make
Because
changes
you can't
anyway.
change it anyway.
Yeah.
So
So
if we put it in there by mistake and it got approved, then.
it's not gonna hurt anything.
Okay,
All right. We'll be careful
Good
not to
point, though.
do that.
okay. So can we approve as is then? Is that what we have on the table, is approving it as is?
yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. McGreevy?
Aye.
Got an aye? All opposed? Okay, the motion passes. We got that approved.
Is that Nikki? Is that who approved that one?
Ryan made the first, Nikki made the second, and everybody verbally said aye. Okay, claims payable, November 8th. Any questions? Yep. Take your time. It's important. Apologies. All of these are on the website though, right, as an attachment?
So that advert, or the, advertisements for the surplus property for 9778 for the Argus, that was a one-time thing. That'll be
Yeah.
on next month.
They were just late, I mean, they were late.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just asking, so
Yeah, we ran that for a week, hoping to get.
Wow. that
some
costs a whole week.
response, yeah. But
Okay,
I will make a motion to approve claims.
Sorry, a little delayed on the team side, but here it is. We got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I can second that.
Travis is the first, Nikki is the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. McGreevy?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes, and so the minutes are, or claims payable are approved. Perfect. All right, on to the next thing. Public time. Mark,
Goodman, got anything good to say?
he's just here for the party. That is the fastest public time on record. Fantastic.
Oh, no, yeah. You could say something.
Really? Okay.
Okay, so now we are going to engage, we're a little late because public hearing should have been at 8, but now it is 8:31. So we're going to engage in the public hearing. What else do we need to do? Do we have to vote to go into public
we
hearing?
voted on each one separately.
Okay, so we have liquor license renewals to consider. And the first one. I don't know if those are part of the minutes. They're not on the packet because it's an application.
Yeah.
right? Okay, so that's not part of the packet because it's a application, which could be confidential information. So the first one is Someday Cafe, on sale. Linda, do you want to go over that for us?
They're just renewing their contract, for the new year, 2023. So all of their, application and they, included their payment.
Any information different from last year?
Well, they did, increase their legal description and we did that transfer earlier.
Make sure the new facility is covered under their liquor license.
Because Someday's adding the doghouse.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that will all be under one liquor license, just so everybody understands what we're discussing.
Yeah.
Okay?
And just a point of clarification, since Baltic holds the liquor licenses for malt beverage, on sale, off sale, liquor, on sale, off sale, the agreements actually are like an operating agreement. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
actually what they are, but that's just a picky point.
It's good information worth getting out there, because not a lot of people understand that side of it.
But the city of Baltic doesn't actually issue liquor licenses because we're a local option.
So it's an umbrella.
It is, it's basically and there are,
There's one big liquor license and those
Right.
little ones are underneath us.
it's basically a good way to describe it, and, the city, I mean, the city has lots of possibilities, I'm not necessarily suggesting this, but when when the municipal lounge was running, the city would require that the, alcohol be purchased, and then the city marked it up and actually generated some revenue.
Got it.
So that is a revenue opportunity.
Yeah, and I sent you the operating agreement
Yes, you did,
because.
and I have them right here.
Okay, I wanted to make sure they had listed that, but they haven't been doing that for a few years now.
Yeah,
So,
I think they kind of stopped that after the Baltic Bar closed down.
Yeah.
Is
and
what I
also
understand.
When they sold
we
it.
have the GR tax now that brings in revenue from Bedford and booze.
Right.
So Ryan was thinking that might have been one of the reasons they quit.
They could transition away.
yeah, and I have no problem with it, I just wanted to
Let people know.
be
Yeah,
transparent, throw it out there.
No, that's good.
yeah, that was a whole new thing for me as operating.
Oh, yeah,
So we should be approving an operating.
yes, you
agreement.
could, yes, Linda, that's
Okay.
correct, yeah.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve Someday Cafe's application.
I'll second it.
And that McGreevy got in there. Good job, Brian. We got a first, we got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now we have Joseph A. T. Moe, that is the Legion's operating agreement. So do we have any questions on that, or are there any terms that have changed from last year to this?
The Legion's, the current amount that we charge, because in years past, we had given them a cheaper one in trade for use. Is it for the current, the actual listed?
1,500.
Okay, the listed. Making sure.
What's the liquor license for Someday Cafe?
The operating agreement is 1,500.
Look at you. Okay, so 1,500 is the new price for an operating agreement. Okay,
It was, yeah.
okay.
And then there was a few changes that I sent to John.
Yeah.
To do with
Yes.
those invoices and stuff that we don't do.
Do you want to talk anymore?
No, I just want to make sure that we were approving the corrected amount that was, they did that last year. We changed kind of how we did things, so. Yeah, so we're good. Make a motion to approve.
So Travis made a motion to approve that one.
Second.
Oh, Ryan beat you.
I bet it, Ryan.
So Ryan got the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the operating agreement passes.
So
And-
should we, excuse me, so should we be just, we wouldn't even approve the city of Baltic's liquor license, then
No.
would we?
No,
So this was not necessary.
Yeah, you still have to approve.
we need to approve the individual operating agreements.
Oh,
Because it's a
okay.
contract.
Cause I know there's a timeline to get the application.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that something that we need to sign and attest?
Should probably look at it.
There is a, yeah, I mean, there's these that,
Which,
So really, should the motion be to give the mayor authority to sign that operating agreement?
but we have these, we have to turn them.
yes, you have to turn, and you can go ahead and do that. And, Yeah, these are I drafted these back in the day.
Yeah, I thought you.
Yeah, and you have those in Word
Yes,
and you've already changed them. Now, but we're not using markups, right?
right,
So,
so I'm highlighted.
yeah, so what we ought to do, and your point is well taken, Deborah, what should happen is that you should be authorized to sign these documents on behalf of the city.
So can we do the last one and then do a motion to allow me to sign all of
Yes.
them?
Yep, yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's do it that way.
I'll motion for the classic corner.
Look at you.
I'll second.
So we got Brian and we got Nikki to approve the operating agreement of Classic Corner, which is actually off sale. Is there anything that have changed on theirs, Linda, just to be, okay? And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Mr. McGreevy, I didn't hear you.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Thank you.
guess the same thing as the other two. actually.
Yes,
The markup.
yeah,
Okay.
Just.
we're, yeah, exactly. And so, and maybe Ryan Cine wants to make a motion to authorize Deborah to sign those, but
No,
we did, okay. Yeah.
I make a motion that will authorize Mayor Baltic to sign the operating agreement
For all three.
for all three businesses. For on off sale.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion on the table to authorize the mayor to sign the operating agreements with the three approved on sale, off sale agreements. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. McGreevy, what was your vote?
I'm an aye.
Okay, thank you. So that motion passes. So Linda, just let me know when those are ready and I'll get those signed.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to remind everybody, in order for an agreement to be, legal, it needs to be approved by the governing board. It needs to be voted on that the mayor has, or whoever it is, has the authority to sign the agreement. Then it needs to be attested by the finance officer to make that a legally binding agreement. Huh, long night. Okay. So we got that done. Public hearing is now over. Don't have to vote to adjourn that, right? We just announce it. So it is now 8:39. Look how fast we did that. And, that is true. Isn't that nice? Ryan Sinding, old business. Speaking of old business, Ryan Sinding. There's an item for code enforcement with Paul Clark, and really what that is up for discussion on is that, we have, our maintenance department has agreed to handle the more, entry level or lower level code enforcement items, but when there are things that get elevated, just like the building permits, our staff are very well, educated and capable, handle the lower level building permits. When we have the higher level ones that require a little more expertise, we have Paul Clark doing that. So what we were going to ask the council is approval to have Paul Clark also handle the higher level, more complicated code enforcement issues. Because he also has experience with that. We thought, well, instead of engaging in a whole different person or a whole different organization, how about we move with somebody that we're already, contracted with? And then that is just another reason why the cell phone, thing is helpful, because that also is included in that too. So it's kind of a twofer.
I'll let you go.
I know, just trying to be efficient all day long.
And he is charging the same rates that he would do for building
inspection.
So he would just,
the mileage and
Yeah.
So it's just another thing.
inspection and,
Yeah.
and he'll differentiate so we know exactly what's going
he
on.
does, yeah.
So that's what we have on the table. If you guys would be willing to allow Paul Clark to be our code enforcement officer, I guess is probably the way to do it, isn't it?
Make a motion to approve Paul Clark as our code enforcement officer.
We have a first,
Second.
and Ryan did the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Linda, would you be kind enough to alert Paul Clark that we would like him to expand his services to the city of Baltic? That would be great.
This is compensation change?
Yep, it would just be additional,
Okay.
because he bills by the hour. He invoices us basis on his time, so then that would be same rate, same everything.
You've told him about this, that this was something that he's comfortable doing, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he does it.
Good direction forward, what council motion?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. we thought.
Yeah, we didn't voluntold, Paul Clark. He was a willing accomplice. And so, gosh, the next item is ice skating rink. I can't even imagine what
Oh,
that's
boy.
about. All eyes on Ryan Pods.
Like-
Oh, is that, oh, that's right, it's John. John, sorry. I immediately, when I think ice skating rink, I think Ryan Fox. So it's John. John did a little bit of research.
So, there are penalties. The city has ice skating rinks.
So if I recall correctly, in a previous meeting, we had asked John to research the pros and cons of an ice skating rink, our liabilities, where does that stand? So that way we make sure that we're all well aware of what we're getting ourselves to, because just doing the due diligence is always a benefit. So what'd you find, John?
Well, and actually Linda emailed me on October 20th, a whole bunch of just delightful information about ice skating
Linda
rinks
is delightful and full of information.
provided by the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance and Safety Benefits, Inc. And there's all kinds of information suggesting, signage and rules and all those kinds of things. And City of Sioux Falls has a sign at Tuttle Park. And Linda even included an article from Frank Cowan Company about, risk management considerations for outdoor skating rinks. So now let me throw you a curveball. Under South Dakota statute, if the city provides an outdoor recreational activity, including winter sports, and is the owner of the land, there is an immunity under statute of South Dakota 20-9-13. An owner of land owes no duty of care to keep the land safe for entry on or use by any participant for outdoor recreational activity, or give any warning of dangerous condition, use, structure, or activity on the owner's land to any participant entering on or using the land for outdoor recreational activity, which includes winter sports. Now, does that mean that we do nothing? Probably not. But I just wanted to let you know that there is immunity.
So it's assumed liability as soon as they step foot.
Yeah. Unless you charge them money, and then that may change the rules, but I think these sample outdoor skating rink rules that Linda provided from Rapid City are wonderful. And there's certainly no harm in posting them.
We must not have had a sign for that. You haven't found a sign sitting in the back corner, have you? I thought we did, but
Didn't have a-
I don't think there really was any. I just thought there was some general guidelines or assumed liability or something, but.
Travis, I think you're right. I think there was something somewhere because I seem to recall that too.
That was one of the first things we talked about when we approved it in the first place, was obviously there's inherent liability with an ice skating rink.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we did.
And you may want to prohibit hockey and hockey sticks, and that might be a good idea for I guess.
Liability to us for it, I don't know, I mean.
So when you said it's immunity, that means that we're immune to,
Yeah. Well,
to any
Any lawsuit.
lawsuits?
I talked to a couple citizens that would overlook the rink area and actually, there were a couple hockey teams or what appeared to be hockey teams that were more frequent users of the rink than anybody else.
and
Which makes complete
it
sense.
does totally, yeah.
I do think, it is a really nice amenity. I do think that it is labor intensive.
Yep.
I think that, it would be really great if we had some citizens that were willing to help maintain the area outside of just picking up skates at the thing. I think I have concerns about putting the responsibility solely on the maintenance workers of maintaining that, because I think it's a heavy lift. I don't know what the solution is to that.
It's something you can ask Parks and Rec on.
It is absolutely, it's something we could ask Parks and Rec to do. I'll take that as an action item. So I think that, have we found a location?
Either the left field and the west diamond or on the acre line.
Okay, because it's the closest to the water and it's level. Is there light?
If I put it further out in the outfield, I think there is the parking lot light, but nothing that really goes forward.
You know, considering the fact that we have like 4 hours of daylight now, you know, having, light might be a situation. Is that something that we can review before we decide placement?
Off the west outfield would be about one, there is a light pole tower and a light already there.
How do we maintain the on and off switch of that light
If
if,
you get the daylight, you can, not sure if it's got a power switch that you can turn it on, and when it's on, then it's daylight controlled. Or if it's got just an on and off switch, I think it's
can you
daylight.
verify that for us? Because if we have a manual switch, that's gonna be really laborious.
I imagine the light up there would be just run off a daylight switch, wouldn't it?
Well, I think we have the ability to shut it off. So I think there is a on off switch, but when it's on, then it's daylight control.
Could you verify that for us? You know, next time we talk about it. Yeah. So at this point in time, do we have enough information? Do we need more information? How do we want to proceed with the ice skating rink? Is there any other cautionary tales we need to know, John?
Not really, but the materials Linda gathered are wonderful.
Do we have the stuff to create the rink?
The liner. And yeah, the other material there, so.
Okay, and because the liner had some issues and so we needed to get a different one?
What I was told is with that, the way that rink is set up, once it gets a little warm, it instantly starts melting. So then the perimeter melts, and then if there's any wind or anything, it'll shift the ice in there, and it'll start with liner.
Oh,
So it's going to be a yearly thing probably, where that liner will have to be replaced.
what is the cost on that liner?
It's donated right now. Deb had a contact.
So thanks to Deb Qualsa for finding,
These are a wonderful thing,
for donating the liner for our ice skating rink.
I wonder, Ryan, how it being used for an ice skating rink varies from it being used as a silage cover, because they don't get ripped up on silage covers
And I think
when the
that,
temperature shift and change.
but see, that's what I was told. It was kind of they thought they had a liner like that last year, and it still got ripped. I think it's just.
Ice is abrasive.
pinched in.
Ice is abrasive.
Yeah, it just gets kind of pinched in for it.
Four persons.
Slightly more abrasive than silage. Not more abrasive than Coons though.
You
But
know,
usually they hold up, like a silage, those tarps will hold up because you can drag them with a skid loader bucket, and they usually don't. They'll stretch, but they won't rip. But I think with the UV, I think it just gets fatigued, and then you have that. So we'll see if it doesn't get poor, then reuse it for the next year.
Okay. So is there a particular time that makes sense to actually set this up? I mean, what is your,
The way it is put up now, it's tied together with straps. So it is all contingent upon it being cold, the ground hard, so when you put it in there, it'll freeze and stay there.
Okay.
We're looking at trying to hopefully drill holes in the brackets and probably come out a rebar and maybe set it up now. The only thing is if we'll probably have to set up, put those in the ground, then pull all the outside perimeter so it doesn't get damaged until it gets cold enough and stays cold enough that we can put it back together. The only threat is those brackets will be on the ground, and at any point someone could go do anything with them. But if it's in the ball field, we can lock the padlocks until we open it up then.
do you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, the only other thing is that you have to wait until it's cold.
Yeah, and then
And
try
then
to,
if we tried it, we can't anchor it in the ground at that point. It'd have to be with those straps. And then that's where we've changed the dimensions of it this year. So some of the straps will be a little bit shorter, so then we might just have that.
Sounds like a catch-22 because everyone's like, where's the ice skating rink? And they're like, oh, now that, you know. Okay,
Yeah, I know it's totally weather dependent. The last few years, we're like, oh, when's the rink gonna get up? Well, I was 70 till into November, December, you know, so it's. just
Oh, I was
totally
ready this year.
It's a good thing we're getting the nice cold weather.
Oh, yeah.
No swearing.
That's right.
Okay, so does council trust the judgment of Mr. Ryan Potts to decide when, how, and where to set up this rink in the best interest of the taxpayers?
If we don't have much choice, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect.
We left the maintenance guys last, we bought it, so.
But let's do that. My action item is to contact Park and Rec to see how they can assist. And then Ryan, I'll have you be the point of communication with those guys if they want to help out in any way, and you can help kind of communicate what that is. And then we're gonna need to know as soon as we know what's going on, so that way that can be in the shop or on the Facebook, you know, that kind of thing. So that's all communicated.
Make sure you include Stacy, or, not Stacy, Sally Franchuk's got them.
Definitely.
Right up there.
Yep, I talked to her about rentals.
Okay.
So is there any other outstanding items for the ice skating rink? Are we ready to go? Going forward, I think Travis, that's a great idea. That should fall under Parks and Rec.
And maybe they'd have suggestions on the rules. I don't know.
Yep. Like you can only wear pink,
Right,
things like that.
yeah.
Okay,
You have to be able to walk.
yeah, I think so.
It's scary.
And you have to wear headlamps because we're not sure of the lighting. Okay. All right, perfect. Well, then let's move forward with that. So we are now to new business. Okay, so we got a couple of things that we need to talk about on contracts. Unfortunately or unfortunately, some of that needs to be done in executive session. So I don't know if this makes sense, guys, if we just go into executive session, nail down the contract talk and then come back out. So then we can just bust through it. So that way we're not going back and forth into executive session. Does that sound like an appropriate path of action?
Yep, sure.
Okay, so for those of you guys watching, I guess I need a motion to go into executive session to talk contracts. What is the appropriate listing of the reason why? So that way the motion is correct.
Contract will matter. 1-25-2, number 4. Do you think, Mr. City?
Oh, I love it. That's wonderful.
1-25, number 4. And then probably throw in some legal counsel in there just
Yeah.
for measure with
In sub 3,
a sprinkle of legal counsel.
sprinkle.
Okay, and that's sub 3.
Yes,
You want to give us a motion there, Ms. Doyle?
I'd make a motion to go into executive session at
54,
at 8:54.
for reasons 120.
1-25(4.3) and 8:54.
So, and then, yeah, exactly.
I
Okay, Ryan's got the second.
can't read her writing.
I know, nobody can. Nobody can. It's hieroglyphics. It's okay. So we're gonna go into executive session. I'm going to keep,
And I need to.
I'm gonna stop the recording. I'm gonna keep Teams on. And then we will be back as soon as we're done, so you guys can hang out if you would like. And we'll be back